can't hear that, but that's the sound of my kitties cheering, cheering my name. Thunderous applause as Peanut, your boy Peanut here. I don't know if I can say that because um, there's a guy called Burnt Peanut, which is very quite funny. So yeah, I need to just calibrate this because uh, I think maybe my phone was too loud. So you certainly hear when we're watching the video the person who I'm watching's voice, but it is a little bit quiet for me. I don't know if I can get away with wearing my mic though. That's my only problem. I might be able to. Maybe I can. I might be able to get away with actually just wearing my mic. If I just had my phone playing, yeah, I think I can do it. But anyway, I hope everyone's having a peanut time. And now slowly entering into the winter period. I've just been trying to finish everything up business-wise. Because I think it's just like no one wants to do anything massive during this time of year. But then the sector that I work in, energy, ooh, it gets more busy. Obviously during winter because it gets colder. So that there are more demands. And then it's just like we had like the budget come through and it's just like, oh my god. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know what's happening, but at this rate, it's a suicide mission, I think. I don't know what they think they can get away with, but just basically giving all the money to a bunch of foreigners. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna like just people with loads of kids, all the Muslims. But why do we care about Muslims so much? Because they want the votes. They want the votes. Yes, okay, this time I'm gonna play Cataclysm. She's done like a funny. Well, I haven't seen it, so this is all completely raw. But again, it's just like this the hypocrisy of like she's very pro sex but anti porn. So this is an interesting one because this is going to kind of play on her ethics a little bit. This is a bit like a vegan being given lab-grown meat and being told that no animals harmed in it. Well, will they eat it? You see what I mean? It's like sort of playing on that because like ethically it's not really porn. She probably will call it that though. That'll be what I think she'll do. That'll be the cope. But it's like what she just doesn't understand is it's just, and she won't have it because I just think there's a certain demographic of woman who really struggles to sort of see things from other people's feet. I can do it very well, which is why it's easy for me to mess with people because I can kind of understand like what sort of things they'll probably want to hear. But like some people can't, and I think women especially, they don't understand how hard men have it. It's easy for men to see how easy women have it because like obviously it's like a big victimization that happens in our life where we just see women getting things they don't deserve. If you call it out, you just get told you're like sexist. But it'll be interesting to hear what she's going to say. But I think it's going to be a lot of cope. There'll be a lot of like uh, just blaming men again. It'll be like annoyed. She'll be annoyed that men have resorted to this when she doesn't actually herself know that most men just won't have sex. There's a lot of men who just will never have sex, and it's just not fair for them to kind of like be forced to not really. Oh God, what's this? Like participate in, like not being able to participate in that. Oh my god, how do I get her content? She's got stupid names. I don't know how to spell her name. Yeah, there you go. And it's like her picture as well. It's really funny. It's just got like, she's like loaded up in tats and like piercings. Uh, it just looks like I'm gonna say it, she looks like a traumatized like fuck doll basically. And she's just sat there, just like look at you, look what men are now making. Like men have made me into what I am today. Like this like mess of just like trauma. She's got like lip piercing and loads of piercings on her face, just like tats all over her chest and just all over her hands and stuff. It's just like, all of that is all trauma. It's all like trauma. And she's just like in her thumbnail, there's like a picture of her looking like really upset. And it's just, I don't know. I just think, is she like the sort of voice of virtue? Am I like feeling like, you see what I mean? I'm not like saying she's not allowed to have an opinion, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example. For fuck's sake, mate. Ah, okay.
Kind of chill, sit down, talky style video today.
I love like how she like has like a chain. Like this is it. It's like she's like the she's like trying to do what what's her name? Tracy Ullman. She's at the variety show. So sometimes she does a serious one, and sometimes it's like, I did a bit of a funny roast where I got on the paedophiles, and we all had a bit of a laugh because I was giving the paedophiles like time and attention. Um, well, we yucked that one up, but now I want to just sit down and we want to talk about something serious now. So now we're going to be talking about like the AI sex dolls, and that is serious because I might not now have sex because like my simpy boyfriend, who I think she does have a boy, that actually baffled me the most because I thought she was going to be one of those like hates men so much that she just doesn't even have like a boyfriend kind of guys, women, because I've seen that where women do actually have the ability to become, I think, involuntarily celibate. There isn't such thing as a femcel, but women can make themselves femcells, if that makes sense. In the sense that because they control the sex, so they just can just like make themselves as unappealing as possible and just refuse any hits by like any blokes they find attractive. And some women do that. They just resent their like sexual urges. They might even go like lesbian as well, just to kind of like or bisexual, or they'll sleep with like minorities because they will refuse to like, especially if it's like if they're like white, they'll be told that like white men are like the demons, so they'll just be like only sleep with like black guys. And any white person that they come across ever in their life, they just have to. They've been brainwashed to just like been taught to just slow them down or inconvenience them in any way you can, even if it's just like he gives you a form to sign. Just wait until like, the last part of the day. So any power you have over them, exploit it to the most you can. Just make their life the worst. And then enough people do that throughout your day, and then as a straight white man, you just end up having like a really crap time. You just find out like no one wants to help you out at work, and everyone just is just kind of like trying to trip anyone who's not a straight white man as well is just trying to trip you up really. It just seems to be like what it is. Because you have like support groups and cliques for any other minority. So any other group, not even minority, that is not straight white men. So for gay people and all that, you got LGBTQ and all that. Women have got loads of like bad women shelters, tons of like help, and society generally will help you out if you're a woman as well. if you're like a black guy, oh, loads of stuff they'll be there to help you out. If you're, again, any other minority, loads and loads of like help groups they'll be there for you. Loads of opportunities, DEI, everything. When you're a straight white man, it's just you get bullied by every other group. It's like they did like a joke on South Park where when you played the game, the difficulty bar was determined on your skin color. And they actually put it so like being black was the hardest as a joke, and they got like a bit of flack for that, but it was okay because it was just edgy, whatever, fine. But the irony is it's the other way around. It's actually like if you're born white, especially if you're straight, you are like absolutely just set for hell. Like every motherfucker's gonna want you dead, and it's just true. Every single person you meet secretly wants you dead. Like when I like, have any arguments with like. Hey, brown people online, it's like it's just very apparent that they really just don't care about you, or they want you dead, or just to replace you. Black people openly will admit it. They like laugh, and when people like they see like white people getting hurt by like black crime. Indians, they find it really funny when like the truck drivers like kill people. So it's very apparent. It's like a level of envy. But it just comes out of like I don't know. Yeah, it's just that's it. It's like any power anything they can get over over you. There's a win for them because that's what you got to remember. It's like for you don't really get it because you're white, but for them it's like every single one of them. If they ever get one over you, they can probably live off that for the rest of their life. I remember one time I like showed this white guy up on social media. Like we just would like be like, what? Just get over it. But like for them, and also this whole ESAT thing has become really like it's opened a lot of doors. So I don't think I really thoroughly explained what like this is, but there's like some person from like Kiwi Farms, which I've never used. But whatever, it's some kind of source of information, and it seems to be like some like good stuff that sometimes comes out of it. Someone just dropped like some massive like expose on Indian culture. I think they were like an Indian themselves, or they lived in the culture. And there was like some fucking barbaric system that they operate over there called the ESAT system. And it's essentially the ESAT system is like some kind of strange like shame that the Indians use. Where effectively, like, if they get in disputes with someone, it's not even a question of, like, ever accepting someone's wrong and then maybe, like, changing your tact. It is literally just try and win any means necessary. So it doesn't matter what you do or what methods or anything you do. You just have to use any method you can to try and win the argument. And that can go as far as like even sending like death threats and whatever just to get them to try and concede. That's the whole point. Because if they don't concede, if it like lowers their ESAT score, and anyone who's affiliated with their ESAT score as well, so it's like really bad for them to like get impacted. I think it's like their like strange like Hindu metric they use for like when they die, who they come back as. And it's like sometimes people, what they'll do is some Indian people will like end themselves because they want to preserve whatever ESAT they have left. So they'll see themselves as like ending themselves. At least they can conserve whatever ESAT they have left until the police or whatever, or whoever, like someone like verifies that they're lying. So every time you go on like the internet, the Indians are basically doing that. They're just like their ESAT's being challenged all the time. So if you ever sort of call them out for doing something bad, you're putting their ESAT on the line. So they're just gonna like go and like end up doing and saying something really like as whatever they can to try and get you to like refuse and put back what you said. And that's like why like when Tyler Olivera did that like Pooh festival, the Indians did think it was like appropriate to just like dox his family and like send death threats and stuff, because to them that's like this their ESAT was under attack because he was attacking, and it's the same with like, so anytime you see anything like that, that's it. And when you watch like the Kit Boyoga videos where he's like messing with the Indians, like they just make stupid lies up, like they pretend that they're Joe Biden or the president. If you try and like call them out, they just get really angry about it because that's where they're like it's their ESATs being like impacted.
Going to be talking about robot and AI pornography. Now, I understand that a lot of people get quite annoyed at me when I'm having to censor every other word, and I just wanted to let you guys know that.
I mean, that is hilarious because it's annoying in like the sense of like her as a woman, and again she'll be put in a borstal or like an asylum, used as a feminist case study, but I think a lot of women who are like growing up today are not going to probably look at someone like her, because I think this whole like liberal mindset thing has gone way too far, and I think this is why like I am fascinated to like listen to people like Katie Clissom and more as like case study, just because I don't know like how many. I don't really know like how long women are going to be like this, because from what I'm hearing is like, oh shit, there's like a lot of women who are like, or girls who are like growing up learning that if they just end up being like these like super hardcore feminists, they're just never gonna get any dates. No boy's ever gonna like, because like the boys are growing up now and they're just learning like, and I'll be teaching my sons about it as well. If you ever come across any girls who are just like Katie Glissom, just avoid her, because they're just gonna be absolute hell. They're gonna make your life really hell. They're not worth the squeeze. Like I know, like fine, whatever she might give you or say, I bet whatever, but like there will be other girls out there who will be like even able to do that and like respect you for being a man. You don't want to be going out with like Katie. Oh my god, actually, run over. Don't need to like waste your time with women like Katie Glissom who are just gonna be like angry that you're kind of a man and she's a woman, and there's just different, people treat people differently for that, and it's just that's just life. I'm sorry. Like if you want, you want to be a performer or go on YouTube, hang out with the men, you're going to be again under the same scrutiny as the men. So if you can't handle like the dogging and the people maybe being mean to you, it's just you get out the man's world. You see, just this is the thing. If you're making yourself now like a competition.
The consistent heavy censoring is not because I think that those words are too bad, but because YouTube's monetization system is really, really unstable. And if I use any words, even in the context of this video, that YouTube deems to be bad, they will remove all of my money. And I really don't want that to happen. So I do.
All of her money more. Okay. And that's why it's really funny, because it's just like she's a sort of victim to this grift as well, because she's like part of YouTube. She has to like play the game. She's not allowed to say the things she really, really potentially thinks. She can't swear and say all the stuff that, because it's all about the money, and that's why it's really funny. Is because she will be all against like working for the man. Sorry, being in a relationship with a man's got the power, especially if the man has power with money. But she's fine to like work for a conglomerate company where she's like still giving money to a man. If I don't know, like the owners, the CEOs, or probably like people. But it's done in a different way, because she'll be like, well, not really. I'm my own boss. And it's like, well, you're not. I suppose you are, but you're not really. You're kind of still an employee of YouTube, because that's who's paying you. So you can't. That's what's funny. It's just like they don't like the idea of like the patriarchy and men having power and control, but then they love like the idea of working in a job and probably having a boss who's like probably might be a man, and that's okay. That's fine. They submit to that guy because he pays them money. and it's a job, so it's like it's obviously different. Why would you not stay with me?
Apologize. If the editing is something that annoys you when my words are censored, then unfortunately this video might not be for you. I will use the word cornography and corn for not
Pathetic, isn't it?
because I think
This is again. I'm just part of me just really would love. I don't know. Just to like go back to when YouTube didn't give you money. I think a lot of that would just iron out a lot of this stuff. You're not gonna have people grifting. And when you just add money to it, it just ruins everything. But would anyone bother? Well, I just think it would just create a new generation of creators because you're just not gonna have these people like this. Because when you have people who can make a job out of doing that, it's just they just blow out anyone else who wants to try and do it a little bit more casually because like they're just gonna have like the time and money to just invest into like doing this full time. But then I just think like if they didn't pay anyone, or like at the very least, you would only be able to get money from like selling like merch or doing a Patreon or something. It might bring back just people making more videos just more for like just the sake of it as opposed to trying to make money. Because I just feel like everything now is just done with like an overshadowing forebodement of just I'm trying to make a bit of cash from this. So
that those words should be dumbed down, but because I literally have to do that, and in any other way I can, I will have to substitute the explicit words for words that YouTube won't get upset by. Now, I actually don't have a full video essay type plan for this video. I like to just sit down and talk, as you guys know, and although some people might not like that, I enjoy it, and it's my channel, so yeah, here we go. My kind of
remember, it's her channel, her website. She's done everything. She's made it all. She found all of it, and this is like it's not. I mean, it is in a really like small fractional way, but it's not really, is it? Because it's not your website. You know, you're just uploading it. You didn't have to code everything. And I know I'm being really flippant, but I'm just trying to like make it like trying to tell people what it's like. It's just what's happening. You know, her fans aren't, or they use YouTube for other things. They don't just find Katie just for the sake of it, like just because of her. And that is one of the hardest things to actually get as an audience. Is if you don't have good like marketing channels, it's very hard to get your voice out there. I know I'm aware of that. What are you gonna do? Go around and like hand flyers out? Make a website? No, you gotta go on fucking TikTok and try and like. Oh god. Poor dude, I just fucking wasted him. Do you see that? Just got a triple kill.
This was peaked with
That was sick.
robots. When I saw an Instagram post sharing that now you can buy these robots that have resistance modes, aka.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. And that's what I mean. So it's just, it's what I thought. She's just going to be shaming the men now. So it's like, and you know what the really sick thing is? And I'll get done for saying this. It's like, I bet she gets off the really kinky, messed up stuff. And I'm only saying that because like I just think there is a thing. Like if you look a bit like her, you probably are gonna be a bit like her. But she's probably not the sort of girl who's gonna like be happy with missionary. You're probably gonna have to get like a box of shit out from under her bed, and it's gonna be full of like all this kinky bondage stuff. And that'll be like just to start her off, and then probably have to like choke her and like. So this is what I'm saying again, and she'll never admit to this, and I might be wrong, but again, like how am I gonna prove? She'll just say she doesn't, and so is my word versus. Like, what, are you gonna trust a woman? Yeah, okay. Um. So that's what I'm saying. So it's like and she probably does read those like really messed up books as well, the ones with like, the milking maids, and just does like because a lot of women do like watch like really smutty porn, but they just don't. It's not a problem for them. It's only an issue when men watch anything. But anyway, so yeah, she sounds like she's gonna go on a tirade now. So she's I might be jumping the gun, but she's used the R word, and now we're getting into some strange territories here because what I'm talking about is we're not really talking about humans. So I don't know what are we R wording? Like a robot? Can that even be a thing? And she'll probably be like, oh yeah, of course, like. Bullseye! No? Well, that's no good, is it? Ooh! Well, that ain't any good, is it?
What we should all call it, resistance or not willing or whatever. There are robots that are being made.
Yes! Yes!
A robot.
So, okay, we've got some good morals here. So, like, I don't know. I guess Katie's very much a case of, like, AI lives matter. Which doesn't surprise me. Here's a hot take, but if we let women just continue the way they are voting, because there's just like 50 of them, 50% of them that will. They probably would do that. They probably would just start like, yeah, voting for like AI lives matter. So if you like R-word robot. I don't know. How can I go in this thing seriously? Oh, one of the comments is great. So this part here, my jaw is on the floor, but I can't say I'm surprised either. I feel sick. I'm glad I'm not eating right now. It's like obviously some, fucking woman.
And when I saw this, first of all, I'm not going to say I was overly surprised. I think I can say I was disgusted, but not shocked, which is something I think we can all agree is a feeling that we are.
It's like that thing that happens on X. It's like they keep playing. It's like there's a couple of shitty posts that are just like evergreen in the sense that they just keep reposting them because they just know it's like always gets. There's this one where it's like there's this old diner in America that's like over 80 years old and still serves Coca-Cola the old-fashioned way. And it like shows them like pumping like the fucking like it's doing it like an old fat, and then it's just we've seen you see it like circulating every month because it's just a good thing that you put and it'll get a couple billion like million views. And then the other one is there's a stupid like Sabrina Carpenter song where she's like in a hot tub and it's like she goes, "Hey man," and then it like cuts to these pigs and it's just so shit. You can tell like a lot of like alpha widowed men and like a lot of like black women probably would be like, "Oh, I completely agree, honey. Those men be pigs. Always ask for anal on the first date. Maybe I give it to them, but fuck them." That's usually the way it is.
Experiencing more and more as technology develops
and
society proceeds. Disgusted but not shocked. And I thought, what's this all about? So I had robots and just AI in the industry as a whole and how damaging it really is going to be. So the first thing that I noticed doing research into robots is that, and I know a lot of people are gonna be, I guess, annoyed by this, but it is merely an observation, that it is typically men trying to recreate women's bodies when it comes to robotics. Very, very rarely, in fact, never have I seen a woman.
Right. So okay, this is just where she just doesn't know how to like see what it's like for men. The reason because of that is because most women don't need to. They do not need to. At most, if not all women, really can probably get laid. Not maybe all, but I think the very vast majority could. If you just go on Tinder as a woman and you just put, even if you're like probably a chopped woman, depends what race you are maybe, but I think in general men are pretty horny. So if you were just kind of wanted to say, oh, I want to go out and get laid, I think about like 9 out of 10 women could easily do that. I know people probably won't agree with me, but it is. And on the reverse side of that, if you're even a good-looking man, you still might not necessarily even get nearly as many views or likes as a average to low-looking woman. If not, that's just a given. And another reason for that is because they know that the women don't really need to pay for like Tinder, so the people who are paying for it are the blokes. So what they do is the good-looking blokes, they actually like they restrict how many people see their views, and then they think, I need to buy the premium to then get on the plane, and then the shop dudes, they just don't get any likes, so they think, I better buy it because I need to, like, that'll be a way for me to get more likes. The women are like they're the they're the prize. They're like the bit that they're like the thing that they want the app to have, so they give it to them for free. You don't need to pay to like join them. That's like the massive grift.
Present a male robot and discuss about how
and they do have male sex robots. They've got like fucking those dildos, and they've got like impressive ones now. They've got like ones that like they do whatever you want. Like what else do you need? Because that's the difference, really. Because the women, I don't think, I just think like that's her biggest gripe is that she doesn't really understand that there are just like a lot of the demographic of the world, especially men, who won't get laid, and that's not even me. I know I'm not part of that because I have kids and I've had sex, so already I know I'm already better than like quite a few percentage of the world. I'm not even trying to be arrogant or cocky, but I just know that like there are just statistically a lot of men who probably will never get laid just because of how bad it is in terms of modern dating and yeah, mostly just like modern dating. Really. Okay. Oh boy. Alright, here we go. Dude, this is racist, Holmes. At least I killed one.
Very lonely and therefore want to kind of have these dolls. It is primarily, if not always, men presenting these robots as something that is for the future and something that is solving male problems. I have never actually come across yet a robot that is for women, that is made by women.
Dildos. I mean, what? I don't know what the women need. I guess that women do want the intimacy, but I don't know. Oh, fuck's sake. Like, what happens to my grenade when I throw it? Nothing, just like fizzles out on the ground.
The biggest thing that I wanted to first talk about, because I think it's the thing that stood out to me the most, was the similarities between the robot industry and the industry. They are intertwined, obviously. I don't think that would shock anybody to hear. My first findings were that the desensitization of women's bodies and what real women look like in the industry is very similar to that in the robot industry.
Oh no, it's Katie getting insecure because men are deciding what they find attractive and she doesn't like it because she doesn't conform to that. Because she's got bitty titty committee. She doesn't like it that like men prefer big voluptuous breasts like Sydney Sweeney because it shows a sense of what's the word? Oops. wasted them, chunked them. Sense of fertility.
Industry, in that we're seeing very unrealistic body
So she doesn't, and it's like, again, she's coming from unrealistic body types. Sorry, what? Let's have a look at it. I'm trying to describe what she looks like. So, she's covered in tattoos and piercings. I think she's plucked her eyebrows. I don't think she has lip injections, but she's got I don't know if she's just got very, very thick lips, but maybe she's had filler with that. I don't know. But then she's also laden with tats as well. So, like, is she a average normal body type, or sorry, woman? Not really. Even we're just gonna say, like, even we're gonna go down the money route, which she probably will do. But all these women just pay thousands and thousands of pounds. I know how much tattoos cost, and I know they cost about this. Oh, they probably do. If you get the amount that she has, where she's got like a whole like arm covered in like some, even it's just tribal shit. That's still like some dude's got to like sit there and like put that on.
types, which some people might think, Katie, come on, it's a bloody robot. But I don't think it is that simple. I don't think that can be strawmanned to be so.
Remember, I don't think, I don't think, I don't feel, I don't feel, I don't think. This is just it. Me. Women are just very like narcissistic. Me. What is it? How does it impact me? Me. Like, in reality, and she would even say that. She'd be like, I wouldn't even do this video if I didn't care about it. And women just get away with saying stuff like that. If I said something like that, I'd be called like a narcissist. So what, you think I'm just going to fake a fucking video on Gaza because I give a fuck about it? But women, they just say, I'm not going to make a video on it because I give a fuck about it. It's just like, okay, great. Slay, hot brat girl summer.
So kind of acute. Obviously,
Hot brat girl summer.
The reason why pornography is very, very dangerous and harmful to both women and men is that it presents this idea of what a real woman looks like, which is massive boobs, labia plastic.
Exactly. And again, I didn't even mention it, but she said it first, and that probably does show her like insecurity. Because she's probably, this is the thing, she's not smart enough to like not reveal it. So she said the one that I thought, but she said labiaplasty. So I wonder if like her exes have complained, like she's had like she's probably slept with too many dudes. It's probably what's happened. It's probably what's happened. She's a alpha widow. That's what I think she is. And I think that's true anyway, because, well, the guy like she dated watched too much porn, and then wasn't interested in her. I mean, that was because her like pussy was too wasn't tight enough. Look, I'm sorry, I wouldn't make these disgusting videos, and I wouldn't talk like this. But she's not a woman, in my opinion. She's a feminist man, a feminist woman, which is like a man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would never talk like this to a woman. I would never make a video like this on someone who acted like my mum, because she's a woman. But Katie isn't like that. She's a fucking. She wants to hang out with the men. She wants to like talk about sex robots and talk about how sex positive she is. So this is all just fine. Like, this is what us blokes do. We'll just talk about like. But hell yeah, am I gonna make fun of it?
The perfect nipples, a slim waist.
Right, so she's mentioned two things about her breasts, so that's really interesting. Slim waist. I think she was fat, so again, I think this is like these are just her insecurities, I think.
And a really big butt, which, you know, is something.
And she does talk about how much she loves her butt. So this is it. I think she's just opened up her insecurities. And it's like, what I really love about women is they're really bad at like hiding their true thoughts. And that's because they don't have to. Well, sorry, society isn't gonna compliment you or give you any credit for like revealing your weaknesses. But for women, they know like, oh, some save them, but women like Katie have been brainwashed to think that, well, they're fine. So they just end up saying stuff like this, and like people like me are just going to read into it, and it's probably, I'm probably right. Oh shit! Well, who's doing that? What the fuck?
That we have spoke about time and time again when it comes to, but to see it be replicated.
Because the thing that's weird about what she said is she didn't mention anything about the face or the way they look. And sorry, in terms of like their physical, like and their face, it was all very just like straight to, and that I think that does strike me as being something that she's been traumatized with. She's probably like gone out with the top 1%, 5% guys who, again, they've got like a harem of like 100 women just texting them. So they basically just feel like a normal bloke when they speak to a normal woman. And she got annoyed when she probably like slept with them and then woke up and they like said, "Oh, your tits are too small. I'd rather to go out with someone with bigger tits." And also, your tits look weird. Because like when you have like men like that, that's what they'll do. They'll just be like really like sexist and just flippant because they can. Because they themselves know like what women are like. Because most of these guys are probably like people who've had to like men who've had to like work a lot harder. So they probably are like that to a lot of women because they just like know like, oh, fuck off, you know, you don't know what it's like. I've had to actually work really hard to become a millionaire. And all you do is you wait at the finish line and just then sleep with me, and you think like you're gonna be smarter than me because I'm gonna like be a simp, and then no way. You get like one night, yeah, take it. You get one night with me, and then that's it. You go home. And women hate that, and they'll take that chip on their shoulder for the rest of their life. They'll just spend the rest of their life devoted to just hating men because of that one experience. And that's why you have to treasure women's virtue. It's like it's why that the allegory of when you have like the princess who's been he's in the castle. That's all meant to be about like an allegory for like the castle is like her house, and the dragon's supposed to be like her dad. And I think I've said this before, and the prince is just like meant to be like the man who slays the dragon. That means like proves to the dad that he's like a good enough mate. And then the dragon is slain or says, "Yeah, you can have my daughter." See what I mean? It's all an allegory for that, but people read into it too seriously. Where's the dragons? Where's the dragons?
In the robot industry, I think is an even weirder level of scary. These robots, you can pick different inserts with that.
Yeah, look how angry she is. Again, bear in mind that I've seen websites where women get these like dildos and they're like shaped like fucking alien tentacles or your favorite porn star. Yeah, sorry, like like porn actresses, and so it's just whatever. Like, just don't shame men because this is like the feminist route. Is that she's probably angry because deep down the blokes that she really fancies. Here we go. The blokes that she really fancies will probably be like the people who are like completely the opposite ideology that she is. They're not going to be like low testosterone dudes who are like who love talking about their feelings and love immigrants and love like women being like the man and no, they're not. They're going to be like guys like me who are going to be like really like against all of that, and they're going to be like super right wing, and they're going to be very like and she's conflicted, I think, because she knows like, and I think a lot of left wing women, what they do is they get stuck in this like social the women are like they hate being like ostracized from social cliques. So the thing that's like really in is to like love all like immigrants and love like all Palestinians and love all like anyone who isn't white because this is like what the virtuous thing to do is, and it's not. It's just being lied to. She's being lied to by like, immigrants to just let them come into the country so that she herself will actually get R-worded.
Have different labia, so you can pick what labia you want your robot to have, which I think is better.
And also, let's not forget she's probably very pro-abortion, and she is because she's had one. So a woman who's had an abortion, and I know like she got R-worded, and that's fine. That is maybe whatever, but I don't know. Whatever. I feel like I'm allowed my opinion on that. Just give them up for adoption, maybe.
Very. I mean, I don't even know where to start with that. So many people will.
And that's probably not her only one. I think if she's willing to accept that she's had one, it makes it even easier for them to have more, in my opinion. Once you've done one, she's just going to be much more prone to just being like, oh, I'd probably just stop going on contraception and just get to have an abortion every time. Because that's what women do. I better go online and get really angry at any white men I see who sniff around any 18-year-olds. Oh, what's this? Mohammed in Israel, in Gaza's got 4 kids to a 16-year-old girl? Well, that's fine. You know, that's okay. He doesn't know any better, does he?
Know that the rise of labiaplasty due to has been absolutely ludicrously terrible. Young girls as young as 13 are inquiring about it because they
Bullshit.
think there's something wrong with their vulva,
Bullshit.
which is deeply, deeply disturbing. And I think the industry has, well, the industry is.
Why is she even looking this up? That's what I mean. It's like it's always the women who I'm actually like more worried about, who are, like becoming more like predatory, in my opinion. Because again, they've just been given this like free, like no one ever looks into them because oh they're women, so that, you know they're never ever gonna do anything strange. But in my honest opinion, I swear, like it's some of these women who are just like the ones that just seem like they are like the most. Where is he? Ah, I'm out of here.
The answer to why women are seeking out surgery for their downstairs. It is purely because of. And anybody that argues otherwise is ridiculous. What else is teaching young women that their bodies are wrong, if not the internet? We're not born to look down there and go, oh, there's something wrong with mine. Nobody does that. Okay, yes, you might look down there and think that looks a bit strange, but nobody is meant to be looking down themselves and thinking, oh, there's something wrong with that. So we know that the industry has pushed harmful body standards onto both women and men, with men, being expected to last and perform for hours, as well as to have catastrophically huge peaks. So we know that pushes back.
Nope. I don't think I've ever really thought that. I think even when I watch porn, I don't think I ever really thought that.
Self-image, right? And this is something that is now presenting itself in both AI and robots in the industry. Looking at some of these robots that are, by the way, I think, it goes without saying, they're genuinely useful. And okay, yes, to the average person.
To think that this woman wasn't even born when 9/11 happened, I know that sounds crazy. I just think that's it kind of just highlights, I think, like the lack of experience this person has.
They aren't really accessible with their high price range, but these robots are a real thing that are being sold. I think it's easy to sit back and think, well, but they are expensive, obviously, but they are accessible, and they are being made to basically emulate what a star looks like. So the average star being big boobs, small.
So that's what I mean. She's terrified because, like I said, I'm not like a very sexual person. I know that might sound like you don't believe me, but I don't. And I think what I mean by that is there's different vices which I think people get off on. You can have like eating, drinking, smoking, drugs, sex, um, playing games, gambling. See what I mean? So I think like if you draw like one of those like heat maps for me, like gaming would be like really high. Drinking would probably be quite high. Eating probably wouldn't be massively high. I'm not a huge eater. Sex would be really, I think, quite low. I'm not a very sexual person, but you see what I'm saying? Whereas like with someone like Katie Clisholm, it's just a lot of women don't have many hobbies. I know that's gonna sound really like, but it's true. I've met so many women who just don't have hobbies. It's like my ex-wife was like that. It's just like, fucking learn to do something by yourself. Just fucking learn to just do something. Learn to knit. Learn to draw. Learn to just actually just not have to, like, I have to be there to entertain you. There's so many women who just like can't be by themselves, and they just have to like be entertained constantly because they just can't. So when you socialize with them, it's not even like I just feel like I'm on all the time. I can't be bored with that. Fuck that. Like, come into the situation being funny for me. I don't want to just sit there and be funny for you. I'm just like making jokes that I don't find funny for your sake. And then it's like they do that, and it's like the only thing they just think about is, oh, I can reward him with sex once he does enough jokes. But like, it doesn't even make sense because they get off on sex as well. It's not like sex is only for me. Maybe they like suck you off or something, but they probably won't even do that because again, she won't get an orgasm from that. And it's the same with the robots. She doesn't like the robots because she'd be worried her simp boyfriend would just I don't know how much these robots are, but let's say even say they're like $5,000. That's not like an incredibly insane amount of money. So this simp boyfriend just buys one of these robots, then that's it. She's gonna have like no one to sleep with. And instead of accepting her faults and her problems, that why did my simp boyfriend decide to buy a 5K robot instead of me, which is a huge embarrassment. Because essentially what you're just saying is modern women are so fucked, they'd rather buy a 5K robot. And that's all it is, it's an embarrassment. All this is doing is just saying that modern women are so bad and so crazy to live with that men would rather spend £5,000 buying a fuckbot than deal with like a modern woman who's just going to be a nightmare like Katie Clisholm and just like, I don't know, tell men that they're perverts because they buy fuck robots when she probably jerks off to like a cow milking, a Minotaur milking maid book and probably has to get choked to even like get off during sex.
Waste, blah blah blah. We've just been into that. So as well as having labia inserts where you can pick what type of labia you want your doll to have, which is absolutely.
I'm sorry, and it's like if you want me to be really crass, just honestly, just I know you can't look at her, but if you do, her name's like Katie Clisholm, but look at her and tell me someone who looks like her would not require thing or like strangling or stuff I'm really not into. I don't like bringing that stuff into sex. I think it should all be about love. But people like this who don't have daddy in their picture, I don't know, they get like they go a bit wired. I think they secretly they needed their dad to like be hard on them, and because they don't have it, they just like bring it into the bedroom. I think. So I'm just saying, 100%, someone like her is going to be one of these women where she's like a dominatrix, or she's just going to have like a bunch of like stuff that you're going to have to like you do to to start getting her off. Where it's like you're going to have to like get whipped and get handcuffed and chained up and stuff. And I'm like, I can't be bothered with that. I don't want my like sexual experience to be like a 4 hour experience where I'm sat there like doing like different stages. Touch my dick and my balls.
Crazy, and you can see the damage that has already done to girls and the perception of what a labia is meant to look like, as well as men's ideas on what labia is meant to look like. When we have men out there that genuinely think that labias are changed based off of how much you've had, and if you have a large labia, it means you're ran through and you've had.
See, I 100%, I can see it. This is her problem. This is women just aren't able to do it very well because they just don't need to do it. When you were blowing, like I remember as a boy, just like sometimes saying things, and I just knew immediately just does not say them because people judged you for it, and you learn that, and so you just know. And there's like a lot of blokes who say that there's just things that you just take to your grave. You just don't. Or if you're gonna try and like ask a question or try and like maybe like use the scenario where you're trying to like say, "Wow, I have a friend who does that." No, you'd be more clever than that. But women don't have it because they just don't. They don't grow up with that. They haven't grown up with the shame of like having to admit this. In fact, they haven't been empowered by it. So I just think very much so that she's dated some dude and like this guy. I might even be the same guy. This is just how amazing like trauma works with women. It probably was the same guy. He was probably black as well. So she probably like went to uni and she was like 18 or 19 years old, and maybe she was a virgin. She would like had an Instagram account and probably got like hit on by like some black rapper who just happened to be in her town or something, and just saw and thought she was like cute, but because she was like a virgin college kid, it's like he was like, yeah, you should come back to my place afterwards. So like she was really enamored by this because he was famous and rich, and she got picked up in a limo, and the guy is like a black guy, but she like doesn't care because the Jewish people have given him loads of money, so she's enamored by that. And all he does is he just raps, but for some reason she thinks that's like the best thing ever. It's better than sending man on the moon. That's better than all the modern medicines that we've ever done, or any science that's ever been found out. No. It's just the fact that he can like rap about the struggles he's had as being black and a white civilization. So let's call him 2 Chainz, even though he's a real person. But so like, she goes to the 2 Chainz' show, and she's like gets to see him like perform, but she feels really special because she's like in the VIP booth because he's like playing there. So he's just like, "Oh yeah, you wait for me, Snow Bunny. You can wait for me in here while I do my set." And like, as soon as the set was over, it probably like got really abruptly like awkward because he was like probably just being like really pushy with her, and like begrudgingly she probably did perform, And then because this dude is like probably like slept with over 1,000 women, um, wait, what the fuck? Why am I this guy? I'm probably right. I'm not even kidding. It's dark, but what do you want me to say? Why? Yeah, so she probably lost her virginity to him. And once you do that, you kind of become, I think you become like really attached to that person because women, it's a woman's first time, it just breaks them, I think. It's just like they become like a really like attached to that person. It doesn't matter who they are. So she would have done that, and then she probably like got really heartbroken because in the morning she probably like woke up and like he was probably just like jerking off to porn or something like that. And she was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, well, I don't care. Sorry, I just, we're not in a relationship." She's like, "Wasn't that a bit, like, a bit inappropriate?" And he's like, "Not really. Again, like, you slept with me, like, on the first day. I don't give a fuck." So she would feel, like, really embarrassed and, like, really stupid. And maybe they would have gotten in an argument about that. Because she'd be, like, really offended by it. And she'd be like, "Get out of my house, you fucking weird-looking, small-titted woman. You got, like, a tiny ass as well. I like a woman with a big ass." And she would have done the walk of shame, which she called it, like all close together, like and just like walked out looking humiliated. And that's it. I'm not even joking. That is then the like as you know like the joke when they say that that's like the super villain arc, where if something like that happened to a man, they would just like become like a super villain. But for women, that's what happens, and then like she then goes back, and then she'll think that it's every man. She'll think it's even though it was a black man in this hypothetical. I might not be right, but I'm just telling you, I know there are like black men who've deliberately been given money to just go out there and sleep with white women specifically to ruin them. That's a story from you'll find on 2030, but I know that's true. Um, yeah, and that's like why Jewish people make rappers black and give them loads of money and stuff because they want them to do that, and they teach like women that all men are the same. And that's the big psyops. They teach you that even these like African guys who've got IQs of 80, they're the same as like it's crazy. But anyway, she goes home and she'll just be like really upset and she'll feel really like stupid. And so she's gonna like spend the rest of her life just being like really angry at men and taking getting all these tattoos and piercings to like cover up her trauma because she'll never ever be able to get over this guy or not even get over but just like never like not think about him even though like I think like a lot of guys, like even when I think about like people who fucked me over in the past, I just don't lose sleep over it. I get over I'm over it. I don't care. But the women don't. They just will hold it. It's like my ex-wife. She'll just be a fucking bitch to me for the rest of my life because that's just what women will do. And I'm okay with that because I'm a hater, but like I'm just aware that that's what we're gonna do. The pendulum will shift because we're just learning that we shouldn't have given women so much power. A lot of our young blokes are just not in the mood for it. Like, I'm in a millennial and I'm like a bit pissed off about it. Oh, actually, I'm quite pissed off. Most people who fuck me over have been women. No, most people have been for women.
So much than men not understanding that the appearance of your vulva and your labia is absolutely nothing to do with. I had a genuine comment once that was like, so you're telling me that going in and out of a woman all the time isn't going to affect the size of her. I don't know what education is doing, but I'm telling you right now, it is failing our society.
Box's unlimited data for YouTube Shorts has got me blissing out to Bento Box ASMR.
I get my tingles from bath bomb crumbles.
You do you.
Unlimited data for
What?
social media and YouTube Shorts on Voxy Mobile. Selected social apps in UK, T&Cs apply.
Because why do we have men that believe that 31 night stands is different to having with your man 30 times? Absolutely crazy.
Oh my god. I mean, I think that is true, though, isn't it? That probably is true. Because you could probably argue that's like the same as, let's say you had a shoe. Yeah, okay, that's a good example. Let's say you had a size 10 shoe, but then like every day you're gonna have like someone with different. So let's say we have like a scale of like people who've got size 8 up into size 13 feet, 15 feet. I think let's see what the state of that shoe will look like after maybe if we got like every day. Every day we had someone with like a random person from size 8 to size 16 to try on a size 10 shoe. After a year, so 365 times, let's see like what it like that person the shoe looks like.
So the least thing we need is dolls now to further perpetuate harmful standards.
And they'll be like, oh yeah, it's elasticate, it's elasticate. It's like, well, fine, maybe we do. Maybe Katie has a bucket fan vagina, but like, what? Why is that a problem? Why is she ashamed of that?
For women's body, it's absolutely crazy. As well as, nipple standards. Who would have thought that there is a beauty standard for your nipples? I mean, what?
Remember, she'll have standards for men in her brain. There'll be like a certain list of like types of men that she won't date. A lot of them will be very physical as well. Things like probably like height, and she probably won't admit it. But the question you always need to ask is like, what is the height of her current on and her previous? Don't ask her like what, because then she'll lie. Because the women now know that they can't say that. They'll just be like, I'll date a man who's like 5 foot. But then you just got to ask them like, oh, what's your current boyfriend or your ex-boyfriend's height? But they might lie. So again, you just can't even really tell. But I'm just saying, if someone says that, don't ask them like what you would date because they'll lie. Just say like, who's your current? What was your previous? Same with like money, status. Like, so for example, Casey wouldn't date anyone who works at McDonald's because she earns more money than her. I might again gaslight you and say she would, but the data proves that it's not true. And again, you just suspiciously find out like all of her like partners will be probably on the same stage, but if not, they will either be like hyper attractive, really tall, or like, I don't know, just powerful, if not rich. I don't know what that really means, but generally so. Or maybe a simp. She might have a simp and just be too young to understand that's not what she wants, because she is still too young.
What an insane.
Because I think a lot of the young women like they like the idea of a simp, and then they get into like their late 20s, and they're kind of like, oh, I don't actually. They might actually want a child, and they realize they don't actually want to have a child with a simp because they know that their genetics are weak.
Degenerate idea that a woman's nipple is something that you kind of concern yourself over. I saw a TikTok once that was like.
And again, it's like, why is she allowed to shame men for what they like when she has no idea like what men operate on or what they process? But like, God forbid, me being a bloke, I'm trying to tell her how she thinks, but she's allowed to go on record and like tell me to like what I'm allowed to think about in a woman, what I'm allowed to obsess about. Why am I not allowed to obsess about the breasts and the labia? Like that, I don't understand. Well, I should be allowed to.
There's nothing more scary than finding out what.
Especially if you are paying for like a robot and you have that option. It's like, are you telling me if you didn't have like a perfect boyfriend, they wouldn't be like, they just won't even make them in like sizes under 5 foot or 6 foot.
Your girl has or something like that, and I commented on it and was like, what is wrong with you medics? Yeah, what's so terrifying that you're about to see a pair of tits for the first time, and the first thing you think is, does she have puffy nipples or is it perky one? Let me tell you, I'm really worried about this. My brother, if you're seeing a pair of tits, just be happy to be there. So with these robots, you can pick one.
That isn't true. Again, she needs to be aware of that. There are loads of women I see where I would not be at all. I would not be happy seeing that. So she got to be careful, and it's the same with men. It is, and this is what we've got to remember. Just in the same way that there's like certain blokes where when they're shirtless, where women will be like, they will be really, they don't mind. Like if you've got a good body, like women don't mind if you're like shirtless. But it's the same with women. There are like some women where I'm like, if I saw like a really fat, like if I saw a really fat woman, or yeah, who's got like disgusting fat tits, like there are like there's like a moniker of man who's like, who even if the tits are just like disgusting, in the sense like it's a fucking fat blob of a whale, the shit they'll still like be turned on by it just because the sheer size of the breasts are like. They go, well, her tits are huge. And I'm like, no. She's fucking fat, is what she is. And then there's like a tiny little like bifid. Yeah, is that she's got like fit, but they're not like attractively fat tits. They're like disgusting fat tits. But there are like some Indian blokes and black guys, especially black guys. It's mostly black guys because they're really horny. Who just like they'll still jerk off to that. They'll still like think that's really attractive. There's a difference between like a woman like say like Sydney Sweeney having like massive tits, and then like I'm trying to think like a woman like Fat Lizzo when she was fat, like having like massive tits. Like, it's not the same. Like the tits are only like sexy when it's like against like like a sexy female curvy body, not like a fat curvy Jabba the Hutt blubber body. Like no one wants to see that.
What skin tone they have. I don't think we need to go into why that is also absolutely concerning and disturbing and...
Oh, here we go. Got classic racism here. How dare you? Why is it that there are like barely any black women who are like top porn stars? How racist. Even black men are like don't want to date their own men. But that's racist to white men. Racist. How about all men are just racist? All women are not racist. All men are racist. How about that? Black, well, of course she has. I bet she's dated like obviously white, Asians, every single type of man she's dated because she's not racist. And if she has a preference, that's different because she's a woman.
So many levels, but you can also pick whether they have puffy nipples or perky, a variety of different...
I've never heard of puffy nipples. I'm not even trying to sound like a prude. Like I've heard of like a lot. What does puffy nipples mean? I've heard of perky. I heard of like pointy. I've heard of like fried egg nipples or boobs, but I've never heard of like puffy.
Nipple types, which I can't believe we're saying those words, that there is such thing as a nipple type. Who gives a really? And
again, it's not your place to say. I don't care. You're not the prize, honey. The men are the prize. We're the ones that built everything and did everything, and we're the ones that make the world the way you are. What does she do? She sits on the internet and makes videos for fucking women and soy men. What do the men do? They wake up at like fucking, I don't know, 2 a.m, and they have to like drive to an electric box because your power's run out. Because they know if they call a woman, she's just not going to do it. Or she'll like call up and say she's ill, or she's on a period, so she can't do it. So a man will have to do it. Or the man's out there in waking up at like, spending the whole day at night going trawler fishing to catch like crab so you can eat your like fucking stupid miso salad. I don't know if that has crab in it, if it doesn't, but see what I'm saying? It's like the men are the ones doing all the shit. Having to do with deep sea welding, having to like drive your ships, the merchant vessels. Right? In the whole of my merchant academy, I think there was only like about, I'm not kidding, a dozen women. You want to talk about a male-dominated industry? Because no women want to step up to the plate to do the actual, real, proper jobs. It's not going to be many women doing like fucking underwater welding or what's it called? Oh shit! It's like, is it dive bell? I forgot. It's like it's the people who have to go like really deep underwater, bell divers, I think, and you've got to like go into these like underwater like rooms. You got to sit in there for like 8 hours until your body acclimatizes to the pressure, and then you can swim again. Like that is like a horrible job, but people have got to do that. These are the people who like make you have the life you have, so you can fucking go out there and talk like an asshole. And we're not putting these people forwards. This is what we should be doing. We should like be posting these guys and like showing how important they are. And these guys are the heroes. These are the people who should have the certificates, the trophies. The guy who has to like do that. I don't give a fuck about this Katie Clism woman.
Another thing, talking about unrealistic.
The hardest thing Katie Clism's had to deal with, aside from getting probably essayed by a bloke, which again is like down to her volition. I know she was like, but she, welcome to the man's world. She wanted to be a man. She wanted to like go to uni. So I'm sorry, I don't know what you want me to do. If she'd given me all the power and said like, men, look after me, I wouldn't have let her do that. I would have made sure she would have like been really looked after and had a really good life. She'd probably have a couple kids under her belt at the moment and be really happy because they'd be doing really well at school. It'd be Christmas time now, and she could like she'd be like really excited because she'd be able to like help them make like a costume for their nativity play. But instead, no, she's making a video about AI sex for
expectations with these dolls, similar to is their ability to be
and she's sat in this like really dark, because it gets really dark now in the UK, so she's just sat in this like really empty dark, and I am as well, but I have kids, doesn't matter. I get to see the videos of the nativity plays. So what are you going to do, love me? And I have a job. When it doesn't count, Katie works so much harder. Does she? Yeah, does she? Sounds like there's a lot of complaining. Just get over it. We don't care. Like I'm sorry, the female grift is nearly over now. It's clear that you people need like you need daddy in your life, I'm afraid. You need someone like me to like just tell you what to do. I know you're gonna kick and scream, and that's okay. I've been around my mates' houses when they've had like teenage girlfriend, teenage sisters, and I've seen it. I've seen like the brattiness of what the girls say, and I've seen the firmness of like what the dads say. And I've seen the reactions that these women give, and it's exactly the same as these women today. It's like that's what they didn't have. They didn't have that. They didn't, and I know that these girls, my friends' sisters, have probably grown up to become very good women because they probably learned to respect men because they knew that the dad was there to teach them when they were like being stupid that no, a man's going to tell you to shut up because that's what the man needs to do. And this is what's happened when you don't have dad in your life to tell you to shut up. This is what happens. You get cataclysms. He just thinks you can go on there and just tell men what to do.
Into all sorts of positions. So many of these dolls, you can put their legs way above their head, which
I bet she did that with her black boyfriend when she was. Again, I just think it's just it's just, she is part of the problem. The feminism is part of the reason these dolls exist. She doesn't understand that. If we lived in like a different society where we didn't have black and Indian people telling our white people to strip for them and have sex with them, they wouldn't then have a society of like these incel white guys who just aren't allowed to have sex because they look a bit chopped, but in reality they are still much more valuable to society than a couple of black guys who've got money. But white women have been tricked into thinking like black guys with money who, because they rap, are more important to society than a white descendant whose like granddad died in World War II to like let you have the safety. And it's just see what I mean? I laugh at things on a different plane, and people don't get it, so whatever.
Again, is linking back to the expectations of women to be able to contort into all sorts of positions and to be held in positions that, quite frankly, no one wants to be held in and are only in for male viewing pleasure, because more often than not, it isn't about.
Why would it be for women? Okay? Why? It's designed for men. It's this annoying thing, and again, it's like this again. Sorry, again. It's like this thing where like, women just have to be included in everything. If anything like a man wants to do, a woman just like just worms her way into it, and it will ruin it because women hate anything that men give attention to. This is the big thing. Women are just like absolute little kids, and if God forbid a man gives a video game or any other hobby more time than her, she'll spend her life just destroying it. My ex was the same. How dare you? All you want to do is play those Japanese video games. Blah, 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 blah. Why don't you go fuck your Japanese video? Why don't you go fuck yourself? And you know what the women need? And I'm not allowed to say it. And I'm not going to even infer what it is. But I think there's some dudes who know what I'm talking about. But there's just something that women do need when they get like that. And it will probably help them out. But you're not allowed to. And you're not even allowed to think about it. And I'm not even going to... I think I'm being very vague on this. So good luck even trying to catch me on this cataclysm. Because I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. So good luck you with your tattoo, hair dye sank into your brain. EBT insecure ass thinks about this.
Pleasure, it is about the degradation, objectification, and humiliation of women. And what's more humiliating than being pushed and shoved into a variety of different positions that are...
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry that you got manipulated by an alpha to do all this stuff and it traumatized you, but that's you being a smart, independent woman to not think that, some rich man is going to potentially try to steal the most valuable thing from me, which is my virginity, and you're an idiot because you think you're worth that. And that's the problem, is that men have used the thing that women have, which is hypergamy, to just exploit them, to steal the... That was epic. Sorry, that was really cool. Did you see that? Like, two planes, it was like fucking... That was dope.
Frankly, really uncomfortable to hold. And if all of that wasn't disturbing and scary enough for you, they are working on making the skin warm up so it is like real human skin. So when you're touching it, you don't feel like you're actually touching a robot, which if you don't want it to feel like a robot, then, you could consider real human interaction.
Look, I told you. She's getting worse. And this is the cope. And loads of like the manosphere channels have said this, is that the women are so narcissistic that someone like Katie Gleason will not admit her problems and concede and possibly just become like a nicer woman around men and just maybe like let them lead, and she won't do that. Instead, she'll just clang on to like the last bastion that women have, which is just to continue to shame men because they've become smart and just realized the one thing that we want from women that they offer us is the sex, and men are pretty much just happy to just have like um an effigy of that. If it mean, fuck the sex bots, because it's better than having a real woman, and as soon as you engage with a real woman, you have basically just like open yourself to a litany of problems in your life. The fuck bot will never ever cause any issues. If you do anything with a woman, she's always got the ability to like record something, uh, make allegations up, and then ruin your life. And Katie doesn't like that because she knows that she's going to lose all that power. Because she loves sex. She actually does love having sex. She said that. But she doesn't want to give men power. Which is why her boyfriend is probably a simp. But that's what I'm saying. It's like her simp boyfriend is going to be the sort of dude who probably would buy that because, let's be honest, like a high value man isn't going to have the sex doll because he'll just be banging women, and he'll get the women because he doesn't treat them like simps. Then that's what women like. So he'll be like a high value man. So the people who will be buying it will be like the Sims, like because the only people who will date women like Katie will be Sims because, yeah, got him, got him.
And if that doesn't sell it for you, they have models that can replicate a vaginal organ. So I'm guessing the inside of the
Like she has like a big grin on her face when she says that as well, because she like knows that like her like Indian girl hands get off on it.
robot contracts around your junk. Now, aside from all of the damaging societal aspects of all of this, would you actually feel safe putting your in a robot that emulates?
Well, again, would you feel safe putting a fucking plastic or metal thing in your vagina? Well, yeah, she probably has loads.
Would you feel safe doing that? I don't have, and I wouldn't want to put my in a mechanism that.
So again, so she hasn't got one, but she's allowed to tell others. But why? When again, she probably has used a dildo and probably still does.
Tracks in any form, so I genuinely, the appeal is, I guess I'm not the target audience. So I watched a video called Rise of the Robots, which is something that The Guardian had published on their website.
Oh no, not The Guardian. That really well reputed news rag. Oh no. Oh, can't believe they would have put something out. I'm sure it's not going to just besmirch straight white men because they're the only demographic that does anything ever wrong.
And needless to say, I wish I could share it with you, but I will literally have my account banned. I'm not allowed to have my 100k plaque because I accidentally didn't blur out part of Belle.
That's actually quite funny.
Delphine soul ones, and now I'm on 217k, and I still don't have my 100k blank. So I don't want to give them any more reason to hate me. So we'll just stick to me telling you about this.
Oh, poor Kay, strong woman, but not strong enough to be against the corporations. You know, when it comes to like Palestine, Gaza, that's different. But like, yeah, when it comes to like bending the knee for the old corporations, she's going to be happy to do that. She's not going to kick up too much fuss. She hasn't got her plaque. But you know, if her boyfriend didn't forgot her anniversary, she'd get really, really annoyed about that. But oh my god, you know, if YouTube right doesn't send her a little plaque, oh sure, that's okay. It's all right, you know, it just happens. It's interesting, you know.
Video. So one of the creators of these robots describes
Interesting,
the
isn't
robot
it?
as existing to be the perfect companion, which I feel like there's so many.
To be honest, compared to if I had a choice between a robot who just didn't say anything except compliment me and just say sexy comments when I want, or have Katie, who's probably just going to be a nightmare, want me to like have to be continuously on all the time and just tell her jokes. I'm always going to be worried that she's probably just got like her Instagram just full of like guys DMing her. So anytime I'm not like on all the time, she was just going to like get bored and go and find another guy to like go with. And she's got the money to do that. Also, not only that, but she can like ruin my character by not only just like making stuff up, but just because like if I do things with her intimately, she can then like, I don't know, tell all my friends all the stuff that I like doing sexually. And these are all the things that that I'm aware that women have the power over you, and you got to be aware of this. And I'm going to teach my sons this because it's important. But women will absolutely use all this stuff against you. So like, yeah, if you're like, I don't know, not even if you're necessarily like a super kinky person, but like women will do that if you just mess with them. They'll happily go and just tell your family, your friends what you like doing, and they'll giggle about it in front of them. You don't have to worry about that with a robot. Robot will always do it every day as well. Not every woman will. It probably will cost more in the long run to like get a woman to do the stuff you want to do, as opposed to just buying a sex bot off the bat. And again, all this could be changed if women become more desirable. But all this is saying is that men would rather pay money for a sex bot than be with a real woman. And that's an insult to them. It's not an insult to the men. I know it sounds like it, but it really isn't.
Going on in my head, it's quite hard to kind of.
All it's showing is that men are resilient and smart enough just to kind of overcome any obstacle that's provided to them. Like if women say we don't want to be with you and we want to have all the power, men will just say okay, and they just find they find a new way to get what they want without having to like resort to see what I mean? So we just found a solution without having to conform.
Mentalize them, but perpetuating this idea that a doll is the most perfect companion you can get, completely obviously characterizing.
No. So Kay's wrong. The doll isn't the most important companion. The most important companion will still probably for men just be like their friends that they have. Because like what a lot of men are just doing now is they're just finding out that fuck it, there's no point trying to waste time with a woman anymore. Because the society's just set them up so they can just be really bad, and it doesn't matter. And like a lot of men just realize that you get into like a couple of serious relationships, and then men just sort of the switch goes, and they just know that the game's not really worth it. Like you've had sex you've had sex like a couple of times, and I think for men they just realize, yeah, it is nice, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like, I can like jerking off is like it's not as bad. It is bad. It's not as good, but it's not that much worse, if that makes sense. Do you see what I mean? It's like I think it's like the equivalent of like men. A man could eat steak every day if they wanted to. Sorry, a man would eat steak every day if he could. But if a man has to eat like ramen for the next like couple of years before he eats steak, yeah, he'll do that. Because there's men just, that's what they do. They're happy to just make sacrifices. The thing is, it's worse off for women because the women are the ones that. What's happening? Because women are the ones that do actually need the men.
real women as imperfect companions for whatever reason, really actually boiling down to personality and the ability to actually think and feel, because the only difference between these dolls, these robots, and women is that we have a heart and, you know, a conscience, and it's that then that these men don't.
Yeah, again, remember she had an abortion. Just remember that. She chose that. I'm just going to... Let me try and use my emotional blackmail on you. Just even if the woman... Well, in Kay's case, I think... Oh, I gotta be careful. I'm not 100% sure, like, how it went down. But, I don't know. It's just like... You know what I mean? Half of that's you. Maybe I don't know. I can't get too involved. But I'm assuming she's probably had other abortions, and I just don't know. I just think there's something wrong with that.
Don't want to have as a perfect companion. To them, a perfect companion is someone who looks like a woman, feels like a woman, is like a woman, but doesn't think or feel like a woman. And to them, that is a perfect companion, which I guess we can all decipher why that is wrong and disastrous and going to lead to further issues that have already created. And in this rise of the robots or whatever the it's called, it talks about how although, you know, these dolls are described as existing to please men, they do actually disagree with men occasionally, but that mode is meant to be humorous and funny. So they have one example where the guy who creates the dolls speaks to the doll and says, "Hey, do you mind if I sleep with other women?" And she replies in an angry way and goes, "No, haha, what a stupid question." And the idea of them responses is nothing but for entertainment. And I think that's funny that they don't want a woman. They don't want to sleep and be around real women because, what? They're too emotional, they're too hysterical, they're this and they're...
Literally. You know, like when vaping became new. I think I remember being like 2013, 2014. Because I was smoking in the Merchant Navy and I was like desperate to quit. And then my ex at the time, she was like, "I get one of those cigarette ones." And there's like one that looks like a cigarette, and it was just, I remember, it just looked like a cigarette. And he just sucked on it, and it just, even, it was like hilarious. Like even had a fake like cherry, so it looked like a cigarette. And then when he sucked on it, the end of it, he just like breathed in like some vapor, nicotine vapor, and it's like cherry lit on it. And I remember like sucking on that, and then it didn't work because I started smoking again. But I don't smoke now. But like, I didn't quit all that long ago. To be fair with you, I'm not gonna lie. It's probably actually only been about like, on all honesty, it's probably only been about a year since I've quit like nicotine entirely. So my lungs have got a while to like properly recover, but it's better late than never, I suppose. Like I think if I get into my 40s, your lungs kind of go back to like how they were originally. I think they say it takes about like almost like about 5 years or so after you smoked your last cigarette. 'Cause your lungs do repair pretty well, but that gives me hope.
That, but you will have modes for your entertainment that emulate what you believe to be a woman's personality, which in this case is argumentative and dismissive, which kind of further narrows down why these dolls are ideal, because it's not just the fact that they look good and they're the perfect body type, because like I described before, they have for that. It's the ability to control, contort them, use them, treat them how they want with zero.
I don't get it. It's just so stupid. Women, it's like men just want. I suppose, yeah, that's it. It's like, what do you want? They want to have sex because they get off on like the physical contact, and she's getting annoyed about it.
Zero consequences and zero verbal backlash. Although, in this case, where they do have the ability to disagree and argue back with them.
And again, remember, I don't know if she is, but I'm gonna assume she's probably like pro-Palestine. And we're going into Muslim territory. She's just like, she'll be fine that there'll be like Muslim guys who just like have had like child brides, and you can lie to me that it's fake. It's the biggest cope ever, but they do. It just happens. They get married way younger than that, and she'll be okay with that. But that's different because they're not white. In her brain, she's just thinking that every man in this situation is a white guy. No black guys, there's no Indians, and there's no Muslim guys, only white guys.
As human owner, that argument is for people's entertainment, and it is something that they can choose to put that mode on. So in simple terms, the goal is to look good and feel good, and to only disagree when the man who owns the doll allows them to disagree. Sounds healthy, right? Sounds like definitely healthy-minded people want to use these dolls. And this is what I wanted to talk about. Now I've kind of set the scene about these dolls and how you can pick their skin tone, their nipple size, their boob size, their lip size, whatever. I wanted to talk about the people who make these dolls and their idea of why they're making these dolls, because the creators of these dolls like to sell this idea that actually these dolls are for lonely men. These dolls are solving issues, and these are just to make men happy, which is a similar argument we've heard time and time again when it comes down
time and time again before, but do the dance or do the vendor just walking away, I'm walking away. Time and time again, it's fun to do the dance or do it out. We're walking away, cause I'm walking away. Do these things we do. Do you remember that? Chronic Future? Time again.
With the industry, and they put that on steroids. So one of the men that makes these dolls said that these dolls weren't designed to distort a person's reality to make them treat others how they treat the doll. But I think that is an absolutely brain-dead and stupid conclusion to come to. And not only do I think it's stupid, but I think it's purposeful. I think it's playing stupid to be void of any accountability, because there is no way on earth you can genuinely sit back as someone who makes these dolls and say that there is no moral issue with them. And when people do that, it's because they want to obviously sell these dolls to people under the vision that it's not disgusting, degenerate, and weird, and only lonely freaks do it. Actually, it's normal, and it's the future, and it's perfect. Of course they're going to sell that reality. That's exactly what directors and producers do. They sell the reality that this is just something that men want, this is just something that men do, this is something normal that we should all accept. That's what the industry has done.
Wait there, giant bear.
Force the normalization of it so far to the point that when people say, hey, I don't like the industry, they look at you like you've just murdered
Whoa.
dolls is to normalize them to the same standard of the industry. So when you see these people sit back going, this is just technology, this is just the future, this is them basically saying, we're going to try and make this as normal as we can because there is money in it. You know, if they can figure out a way to make these dolls not cost thousands of dollars, then they have yet again another multi-billion-pound industry like which will never go away. One of the creators of the dolls said that their goal wasn't to create this distorted reality, but their goal was to make these dolls for people who are lonely, and so people can actually interact with somebody, and for people who just can't interact with people. Now, I don't know what that means when the guy said, oh, these dolls are for people that can't interact with people. What are we talking about here? Because I think this is for lonely men is loneliness epidemic stuff came out. But this idea of the male loneliness epidemic is obviously a term that's come with it now, but this isn't a new thing. This has been floating around in the manosphere since day one. This idea that women aren't sleeping with men on purpose to punish them, and women have it easier than men because we can have as many partners as we want, and whereas
Yeah.
men struggle to
Literally.
meet women, this
Literally.
idea is what helps sell these robots, okay? This idea that, some men are just lonely and they're never going to meet women. This is not helping them. This isn't tackling the root cause of the issue. They're selling these dolls under the idea that actually they help men. They help men with loneliness issues.
Yeah, she's fucked. Because she doesn't understand that. The men that she dates, they do have a lot of choice. This is the thing that women don't get. They don't understand. They don't. Most average men to like Katie are just invisible. They don't exist. She doesn't see them on her radar because they're just like, women have a filter to do that. They only really want to converse with people like the men that they can use or they're attracted to. So that basically just means that like Katie will just like date all the guys who have loads of options. So in her brain's fried because she just thinks that like that men are lying. They just know that she thinks that all men are like this dude that she like message. They have a harem of women, and it's not like that. It's only when like women pretend to be like average men they really understand how bad it is.
They aren't helping you. This is making you worse. The same with the industry. Oh, well, it's just for men so they can jerk off for, men that can't actually have... You're probably lowering your chances of meeting real women by staying home and jerking off to... And like the guy, the creator of one of these doll companies said, it's not just for...
Who cares? So what?
For intimate reasons. These dolls aren't just to be intimate with you, but it's for companionship, which yet again, if that doesn't show you that this whole doll AI approach to the industry isn't based off of filling a gap in the market for the people who talk about male loneliness and how women have it easier to have than men do, I don't know what will make it more clearer. One of the guys even says that he thinks it will help humanity and fill voids in their lives, which again, it's the same, it's crazy how parallel these arguments are between the robot industry and the AI industry, as well as what we see in the corn industry. It's the exact same argument that it's filling a gap in people's lives. But interestingly, it was meant to be filling a gap in men's lives, and it's been around now for God knows how long. So if that argument is correct and that pixels on a screen is to fill the void for men, then we wouldn't surely be in a position where we need these robots. And the answer is, my friends, that it is playing on men who feel isolated from society and playing on the men that talk about the male loneliness epidemic. It is playing on the men who are insecure about feeling alone and want somebody. And that isn't me shaming these men. I mean, I'm shaming the act of buying one of these dolls. I think that is absolutely ludicrous. But I also feel bad. I think these industries are targeting men rather than addressing the real problem, which isn't, hey, men feel lonely. Men feel like they need human connection. Let's make dolls of women where they can literally design that woman to be how they want them to be, to the nipples. That's not...
Yeah, no. But okay, I get her point because I think she's trying to do this because she's trying to like um play like she's an ally to the straight men, but what she doesn't realize is the only way like men were ever gonna go back into like feeling more comfortable dating women is if women relinquish their powers, which they will never do. Because essentially they need to accept that men are like the ones that need to go out and do stuff, and they're the ones that like make the world happen. But she won't do it. She won't. So until then, because women are like 50-50, the men don't want to go in their relationships because like it's not worth it. It's just mad. It's like who cares?
A solution. And if these men were already struggling to meet women, can you imagine how further unlikable purchasing one of these dolls and allowing them to indulge in this delusional reality that that is your companion? Do you think that is helping them? These creators do not care about men's loneliness. They see a money grab. They see an industry that is still early, I think. This is still an early development. Now, I know that they do actually have these robot brothels in some countries, and I think that is terrifying alone. I'll get onto that further down the line too. One of the more disturbing things that I've researched into, and something that a lot of these defenders of the dolls or creators of the dolls like to talk about, is the narrative that these dolls aid men in not women. So I'm going to read this out to you because
Oh, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. The stuff is insane. What's happened? I like what has happened. You know, like when you hear like the Greek philosophers and like Aristotle and Plato and Archimedes and all these like great male philosophers. So why was there no women ever like in it? It's like this is why. This is exactly why. Like this stuff is just insanity. It's like women can't be trusted. Like she'll think differently. Like I'm not kidding. Ask her next week, and she'll probably think differently because of her hormones. Women just can't be trusted.
this is exactly what the guy said who has developed one of these dolls. Women experience and abuse. This is something that could help people move away from that so that they are not so angry at their wives. This is a creator of a company who make dolls. I don't want to treat you guys like you're stupid. I think we can all understand why that is
Imagine her telling us they don't want us to feel stupid.
deeply disturbing. I mean, this idea that dolls are the medicine and the tool to fix the crisis that we have and the abuse that many women have.
She's so obtuse. What do you mean the R crisis? There's a really, really easy way to actually get rid of that, but you wouldn't like it because you'd have to be known as being racist to do it. So, in fact, you'll probably end up getting that happen to you because you just don't want to be called racist.
Facing, you know, I think especially now, like if we look at the prevalent topics of what's going on in Sudan and in other various...
Shut up about Sudan. Who gives a fuck about Sudan? Do you know what the IQ is for Sudan? It's like, I don't know, 80 or something, 70 or 80. Who cares? Who cares? We give them so much aid, and no one cares.
countries where there is an absolute epidemic of women being victims.
Yeah. Ask yourself why that is. Why is that? I just gave you a massive clue, and there's another clue. It's based on the continent they're from. Just really think about why do you think that is really prevalent over there? Why do you think their population is so high? It's not just because all the men are just like such bachelors, and obviously just just have so much money to just raise all these kids. No, they just go around R-wording all the women.
Of violent crime and abuse, and this idea that, you know, a simple... doll is going to absolve society of these issues is not only insulting to many of the victims that are out there now, but this idea that these dolls will absolve our society of an abuse is just, quite frankly, an insulting comment to make towards women. He says that these men can be angry at the doll and beat the...
Why is that a comment to be angry with women? I don't understand. I don't get it. Surely if anything that'd be like good news.
Doll, and that should be fine because the doll can't feel anything. And then goes on to say that these robots will help them and talk to them and calm them. Now, I don't know if this guy has something mentally wrong with him because...
Yeah, because God forbid Katie has anything mentally wrong with her.
Anybody that genuinely says that has something wrong with him, right? I think we can all agree. Dolls are not the solution to, first of all, abusers, but also something we'll talk about soon, pedophiles, right? Now, this is an argument that is...
It's her favourite thing. Oh. Can't go an episode without bringing this up. It's the, liberal woman.
That dolls or certain types of pornography can be used as a tool to help these violent men. It isn't true. It is something that people use to try and make themselves feel better, something that people will use to defend these types of industries, but it is simply untrue. People will defend these dolls as saying that they are a masturbatory tool like women use, which again, if you genuinely equate a warm-skinned, interchangeable doll as being the same as a dildo, I think you have...
I love it, of course. Is this what we mean? So, it just doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter. Because we just know that men find physical stuff much more appealing and women find it emotional. So they do only need to have a dildo. But the men do have to have more. It's just, she just doesn't understand it. She's just stupid. Even I understand it. I can understand from Katie's perspective that why she's feeling this way. Because I'm a man. Understand how I feel. This is why she can't talk. Because she just doesn't get it. She's too young. She hasn't got the wisdom. She hasn't... Because some women can get the wisdom. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But she's not. She hasn't got it. This is why I'm punching up at her. Because... it's like on One Piece with the bounty system, like when Luffy took out Crocodile and his bounty went up to 100 million. That's like what it's like with me, with her. Okay, I just feel like this is too easy for me. I should be on her level, but I won't get the fans because it's not how One Piece works. It's not how the real world works.
The best way to summarize this is that these dolls, even though they are perpetuated to do so, do not stop culture, but in fact promote it. And anybody that tries to convince you that, in some countries, actually save it. Genuinely save it.
Sorry?
It. And anybody that tries to convince you that, in some countries, actually save it. Genuinely.
I don't have any idea what she's saying now. I'm really sorry. I don't have any idea what she's saying now. I don't know what she means.
Save it. And these robots are not preventing violence, okay?
I don't know. She's conflating 2 points now, because she's put the P word in and then sexual violence, and she's conflating them both of them together, so I don't really know.
Like the same arguments that barely legal help stop actually kids. That is a lot. Genuinely save it. And these robots are not preventing violence, okay? It's like the same argument that barely legal help stop actually kids. That is a load of absolute. And in Gail Dines' book, and she discusses how she visits 3, I'm trying not to use certain words because I'll get flagged, but 3 male...
This is the most depressing thing ever. It's just go on kick, or just or don't talk about it. There's a certain point where I'm like, I refuse. I have to keep using YouTube. I'm not going to not use YouTube. But I'm just not going to say these words.
Offenders of underage people, and they discussed how they didn't start off watching CP. They actually started off watching PCP, which is pseudo CP, which means
I don't even know what this is. This is why I think she needs to be investigated, because I don't know what all this is. This is a new one. I never heard of that. I bet she knows all of
it's
that.
barely legal type content. And they talked about how that was actually a bridge into the real CP. And in fact, the tool that people like to talk about, which
Don't smoke weed, guys, because it's a gateway drug to heroin.
was the PCP, the pseudo CP, aka the barely legal content, was something that they started on and then became
Again, she probably donated like $1,000 to Palestine, and a lot of that money probably went to like helping a couple of 14-year-old girls give birth to their firstborn.
sensitized to, so then they moved to the real thing. Saying that these dolls are going to help stop abuse is, I think it's an insult to all women. I think it...
Again, remember, she probably donated. But that's different because, you know, they're Muslims and stupid, so they're allowed to do that.
is scary to think that that's the mindset of some people. I mean, this guy links, you know, the anger emotion to and abuse as if normal women are, you know, real human breathing women are almost responsible in their victimization, in being abused, because, oh, well, these men are being made angry by their wives and that's why they're being... A bit of a concerning statement to make, but also not a surprising one for someone who develops unrealistic dolls instead of, I don't know, spending your time on maybe solving what people describe as the male loneliness.
Yeah, I mean, unlike you, or like... No, I can't say it.
Epidemic. If you're wondering why I keep looking down, I'm just referencing my notes. This is a very long, chatty minute.
Referencing her notes, little loser. Unlike me, I'm just off the cuffs, man. I'm just literally, I'm not. You're not gonna see any hard cuts on this. That's the difference. Even her videos, I'm seeing like all these hard cuts of her, probably when she's had to like take a minute to recompose herself. And she, I might cry a little bit. Just cut this bit, okay, editor, cut this bit.
You know, as you can tell. The defense of these dolls is the same, like I said, that we see in pornography, in that it's just a little bit of fun, it's no big deal, it's a tool, or it's this, it's that, whatever, which is a huge oversimplification. What it comes down to is that the creators of these dolls don't care about the effects it has on women. They don't care about the effects it has on men. Now, I know I talk a lot about how this will affect women, because God, it will. It also goes without saying that this will affect men too. This is just giving a temporary solution to something that is going to build up in society, which is not addressing why do men feel lonely? Why do men feel like their only companion is a doll? A doll that just can't have any human thoughts. So instead of addressing why men can't function around real women, why men can't have and form healthy relationships with women, we say, well, it must be the woman's fault, so let's take the human aspect of the woman away, give men a doll that looks like a woman but just can't talk and react to anything they're saying. It's like...
It is great because this is just what men learn. We're just learning that women are just generally like not very nice people. I'm really sorry to say that they're not. Like men just want to keep to themselves, just want peace. And women don't. They just want to fucking come in here and just ruin it, or just be like spoiled and bitchy. So men have just like, it's like the cigarettes, the vaping. We just like learn how to like take cigarettes and take the component we wanted, which is the nicotine, and remove all the shitty other carcinogenics, tar and everything. And it's the same with these. We want to take the bits we want from women, which is having sex with them, We don't want the bitchy stuff that come with it. Because guess what, honey? The men are the prize. And we can do this. We can send man to the fucking moon. We can make... We're trying to like find out quantum computers. You think we don't know how to do this? Once we learn how to like create an artificial womb, you're fucked. We'll probably just get rid of it. We probably will. That's the truth. That is the honest truth, probably. Once we can find out a way just to make female sex robots that can actually somehow produce like I don't know. Probably will, because we just don't need you guys. You're a nuisance.
There's money in it. I mean, these dolls are bloody expensive. Do you really expect them to care? And I don't think that there is even any denial from these people. Well, I mean, they try. They say, you know, it's not immoral, it's helping men, it's doing this, it's doing it. None of that's true. I think what's even crazier is the fact that some of these companies don't even try and hide the fact that they are catering to a rotted brain in the fact that they are promoting these dolls as having resistance mode. So one company, True Companion, made a robot with a resistance setting where when you make advances, she basically tries to decline you and says that she's not interested, and then you can, as the owner,
Yeah, it's probably Indian and Muslims. I'm kidding.
Still have with that person. And like the guy said previously, oh, this will help. No, it won't. It will not do that. It will not do that. Anybody that genuinely thinks that allowing to a doll is helping women is, first of all, that's offensive, very dehumanizing. But second of all,
The worst thing is, it's like when you like, if you look at nature, it's at every. I can't.
you think that it's all about. It's not just about men wanting to come. That's not about that. It's about degradation. It's about power, and it's about control. And
Okay. This is just her experience again.
men are not going to feel like they are.
Did he like come on your face? Did he like do something really humiliating to you?
Are powerful and in control over a doll. Maybe the first time, after a very long time, they're going to get greatly desensitized.
You make things work. You make things happen. But what if you could use what you...
Desensitized. And if anybody wants to deny that desensitization is a real issue, then you are living in a fantasy doolally land. When we look at the industry, the corn industry, and why it's so bad, it's because we're looking at the fact that over the years we've gone from Hustler and Penthouse and Playboy to hardcore gonzo, which is rough, violent, depicted often as being unconsensual.
Again, I bet that is what she gets off on. I don't. I really don't. I hate any violence in that. I'm not even like a pussy to admit that. I'm really even there. But I bet you she won't.
Why do we now have crazy scenes where you've got like 5 men and 1 woman where they're like pissing all over her, when we used to just have women showing their boobs in the Playboy magazine? Because of desensitization. Desensitization, which is ruining people's brains, ruining people's minds. These robots are not separate from that. They're not
Again, I doubt she can sleep without being choked.
exempt from desensitization.
I mean, sleep with someone without being choked.
They're not exempt from feeling desensitized when it comes to robots. They're not. Believing that, you know, allowing men to play out these illegal, violent crimes on dolls rather than women as a solution is a dangerous mindset to have. And it's just grossly inaccurate. So I've kind of finished my 40-minute now rant about these robots and my opinions on them and how I think that it is scary. I haven't seen many people talk about this, and I think it is just scary. It's sad. I think people should be a little bit more open-minded when trying to defend this, in the fact that, again, we don't see women where are these interchangeable male robot bodies that are really, really expensive to buy? Where are the ones where it's like,
Don't need them.
10-inch and like a 12
Dildos.
and they
Dildos.
play on their video game, like, oh, you know, we don't see that, and therefore
Oh. Again, another little Freudian slip there. So, doesn't play on their video game. So again, she's probably like really annoyed because she's got a boyfriend who's getting... Women hate anything that like takes attention away. That's why like the games industry is being destroyed, because like the women are in there and they're trying to destroy it from the inside out.
I don't think it's fair to say that these dolls aren't misogynistic. I mean, I think other than the fact that it's grossly obvious that they are misogynistic due to the fact that they're literal objects, just the whole mere concept of them is rooted in misogyny. That's why they're female dolls and not...
Oh, yeah, and not like she's a misandrist. It's all we're misogynist. We're all really, really misogynist. Not like that we've given her everything. Like, we've given her everything. Not only, like... Because remember, at any time, men could just say, fuck this, and just stop women from doing it. And if women want to sit there and say, no, they can't, we can. We absolutely can. Guess who's in the military? Mostly men. We can absolutely do that. If we just want to stop women doing stuff by force, we can. And I'm sorry if women want to play, like, hard to get, but... in the world of nature, it's the guys with the force that do stuff. If you get, like, stick a tank in front of someone's house, in someone's face and say, we'll blow you up if you don't surrender, they'll probably stop.
Male dolls. People acting out here like women don't have needs and fantasies. So we can't talk about, oh, well, men are just horny. Women do get horny, so let's not play it down to just purely drives. I think this is a perfect time and video as well, as I've mentioned AI a lot of the times, and how AI plays into this is that a lot of these dolls use AI technology. That's what's making them become so technically advanced. A big concern that I've had for a very long time when it comes to AI is the use of creating images of people without their consent, and I don't really understand how the law is ever going to be able to tackle that and keep women safe and keep children safe. I don't think this is something that a lot of people have really thought about as deeply as they should. I haven't spoke about AI much. Obviously, I'm not a supporter of AI. I know the environmental damages that it has, but obviously my interests are mainly piqued when